Welcome to Wellington's Wide Zone, a podcast dedicated to curate weekly sports conversations, be a constant sports hub for content, interview game changers from the community and the world. Back with another episode, and we have a lot of topics to get into for this one, as usual. And also make sure to follow Wellington's Wide Zone on Instagram, follow Wellington Burns, TikTok, Facebook, Wellington's Wide Zone on YouTube as well. Also posted on X, a lot of content. I'm always churning out. Keep up with that. Make sure that like, subscribe, follow, comment, share, 5 stars. You know the jazz. I always had this thing about the 5 stars. I was like, come on. Like, if I really like your show, I'm gonna give you 5 stars. Like, like, why would I not? Why would I not? Like when I listen to podcasts, um, many years ago, actually 2017 is when I started. I was like, 5 stars? Of course. Of course. I want the same from y'all. 5 stars. Leave a review. Let me know if you're liking the takes or if you're not, or if I can improve, let me know. But a lot of topics that I'm going to dive into. And first off, I had to start with Bam Adebayo, scoring 83 points, second best in NBA history. Also set a free throw record in their win against the Wizards. And this was such a shocking development because honestly, it came out of nowhere. You weren't expecting it. Um, Tuesday night had some other games going on. OKC, San Antonio, Boston, which was a really good game. I'm going to get to that as well. And it was controversial how it happened, how he came about doing it. Because, he's got 31 points in the first quarter, 43 by halftime, 62 by the end of the third. And what the tail of the tape really showed was that a lot of people had an issue with what he did at the free throw line. Finished 20 of 40 from 43 from the field, then 36 or 43 from the foul line. 43 from the jump already gets your attention. Like, whoa, like that's a lot. That is a lot. 43. And and me personally, my take on this is that I think Bam Adebayo's achievement was incredible. It absolutely was incredible. Um, no denying it, right? No matter what you say, getting 83 points, breaking Kobe's record, there was a lot of personal emotion attached to that for many people that did not like the fact that Kobe's record got broken. Obviously, Kobe was one of the most beloved players ever. And rest in peace to him. And I think that with this milestone for Adebayo, he really it struck a nerve for people because there were a lot of players that were saying, "Oh, well, it was against the Wizards, and I saw the stat sheet and how he got to the 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 free throw line that many times." And a lot of people were attributing to that. I personally think it should be celebrated because that's such a tough thing to do. Like, I think so many times as sports viewers, we take for granted how tough accomplishments really are. Like, tough accomplishments like that are out of this world. It's not easy. It's not easy to do. Am I saying it's as good as what Kobe did? No, I'm not. Am I saying is it as good what Wilt Chamberlain did? No. Never even saw the Wilt Chamberlain footage. That's another thing. But he did it. 100 points. I still gotta find out that footage. I gotta track it down. I gotta post it on socials when I can find it. But not in all seriousness, I really think the accomplishment was just so monumental and not a lot of people thought it would ever happen. That's honestly what I think. And I think that if it was, and who the player was another element to it. The fact that it was Bam Adebayo, not like a world renowned, not saying that Bam Adebayo is not world renowned, but like, one of the A-listers, one of the household names like Steph Curry or KD, um, like I wonder if the same sentiment would have had if Devin Booker got to that point. If Devin Booker got to that point, would people have had it as much an issue with it because he's just like considered a natural scorer? If KD does it, if LeBron does it, um, it takes me back to that moment when LeBron was like, when he had his like string of certain lies or certain cap that he does, and he was like, "Man, I saw the whole game." He's it's like when Kobe scored 81, he's like, "Man, before the game, I was watching it with my friends. I was like, I knew he was gonna score 70. I knew. Did you really?" Um, but I do think with Adebayo, um, and what he did, it was something that was just really out of this world. No one was expecting it. It's fair to criticize the free throw attempts. It's fair to do that at all. Absolutely get it. But I do think at some point we have to just acknowledge an achievement when it happens. The Wizards, were they doing things that were like just not good at all? Absolutely. Weren't playing good enough defense. Atrocious defense. But I think when records are broken and things that are just um groundbreaking happens, tip your cap. Acknowledge it. He did what he did. He did his thing, and I think he should be commended for it. Um, the next thing I wanted to get to was definitely the Celtics and Spurs game that happened this past Tuesday night, and Jaylen Brown getting ejected. The Spurs are able to win. Tatum is back, and I personally think with the Celtics and just what I'm seeing with them is that this team is like just still a well-oiled machine. Um, I think that was like one of the games that was deemed, could it be a finals preview? Could it? Um, Wembanyama had a career high 8 3-pointers, 39 points, 11 rebounds, whole shebang. And Jaylen Brown, he has he was arguing a non-call in the second quarter and removed from the game, two free throws given to the other team. And I was just like, I've seen worse. I've seen players like actually like really like toe the line and get away with it. He didn't. Now was he barking at the ref? Absolutely. He definitely was. But I also think that there have been worse attempts by players doing it that I've seen, and I'm just like, are you really gonna like let them get away with it? You're really gonna let them slide? But Jaylen Brown does it, and I think it's the second time he's been had a fine or an ejection in his career. It's not happened many times. I think the last time was January against the Spurs. So definitely, definitely something that I think was very, I don't want to say double-sided, but it was unfair to Brown. It was unfair to Jaylen Brown because I don't think he did anything that was out of the ordinary of what a lot of players do. I think Draymond, he'll like really bark at refs and they'll just be like, well, keep letting him go until he like crosses the line. Draymond would just cross the line to an excessive degree, but he has this like overwhelming reputation of gaining technicals, of having technicals that when he does it, you just like give him passes. When Jaylen Brown is like usually like a pretty mild mannered and he's rarely gonna like make a scene. And that happened, and I'm just like, okay, what are we really doing here? You know, why are we causing such a ruckus with that? So I didn't agree with that. I thought that game was out of the games this past week, I thought that game was one that really showed um, a lot from San Antonio in terms of how good they are early on. And then with the Celtics are still a well-oiled machine. Still a team you're gonna have to respect, still a team that you're gonna have to acknowledge, and one that cannot be overlooked because they have the experience. So I definitely think that the Celtics are in a good position, but I do think that it's still gonna take time for Tatum to develop and get back to fully where he was. Like that's just still gonna have to happen. Even in this game against the Spurs, Tatum has a 24 points, and I think really the improvement is from three. He just wasn't as good from three, 4 of 14. Usually he's a little better from three, but I think Tatum, what he's doing is commendable. He's coming back from a really tough injury, an injury that most players take a lot longer than. Kyrie is still out. He's not going to come back this season. So those are my thoughts on the Jaylen Brown ejection. I also wanted to get to the Thunder and the Celtics. Another thing from the Thunder I'm seeing is that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is going to make big buckets and is going to knock down the best shots when it matters most. He's just a gamer. 104, 102, scores 35, um, has consecutive games of 20 or more, breaks Wilt Chamberlain's record in that degree. And Chet Holmgren was fouled on a rebound with zero point 0.9 seconds remaining and made two free throws to break a 102 all tie. And Peyton Pritchard missed the long three-pointer as the time expired. And I just think that Shea has this ability to just close the deal when it matters. He's the closer. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is the closer. He just is. He's the guy that just has so much calm, so much poise. You never have to worry about him being able to step up to the big moment, like ever. He's ready, he's prepared, um, battle tested, and just has that like willingness and confidence to close out the deal. And so I'm continuing to see this, and I think like that's what makes me the most confident in OKC still being able to be a title contender, which I mean, we already know they are, but like a defender of their title. So that's a big difference. Not just a title contender, but can you defend it? So I think that's a huge, huge thing for Boston going forward. And next, I wanted to get to the Lakers and the Nuggets. Lakers and the Nuggets last night in overtime, very dramatic game. 127 to 125. The Lakers are able to win that matchup. And it's very interesting where the Lakers are positioned because they blew a 17-point lead. Again, Lakers blowing leads, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because it happens too much against elite teams. We know what the Lakers rap is. Against elite teams, they struggle. Against teams that are kind of below the mark, not so much. So I personally think that this Lakers team is still heavily flawed. They're still a heavily flawed team. And what I saw from Luka, hitting the big shot to win it, Austin Reeves having the desperation plays. Um, Sometimes I really do feel as though they play better when LeBron is not there. And I know it seems blasphemous to say they're better without LeBron. I'm not saying that. I think the chemistry um, many times is better when LeBron is not on the roster and is sitting out for whatever reason. Third seed, big deal. Home court advantage. If they can get that, they're going to have a great shot to do it. I still don't think they are a title contender. I still don't. I still trust OKC more. Still trust I put San Antonio over them. I would put Minnesota over them. I'd even put Houston over them. That's just how I feel about my confidence in the Lakers. It's just not as high. And I still think this is a flawed team overall in terms of how it's constructed. So I think that was a big win. Don't get me wrong, that was a big win, impressive win. But personally, there are skilled teams in their vicinity, in their conference that I would still say like those are better teams. Those are the better teams. Those are the ones that I would still put a lot of stock into. Um, Before I go to break, I did want to touch on the March Madness. It's that time. It is that time. March Madness. Um, it is here. Duke, Arizona, Michigan, Florida, top tourney seeds. Duke is the overall seed for this year. Go Duke. Hey, if you watch Wellington's Wise on videos, especially last year, you would have known I'm a Duke guy. I picked them to win it all last year. It didn't happen. Did not happen. But they're gonna redeem themselves this year. They are gonna redeem themselves this year. Uh, so they got an 11 game winning streak, 32 and 2. Player of the year favorite Cameron Boozer, into the 3 week hoops free fall of all basketball as we love. And yeah, like getting to kind of like the closest break-ins for teams. Miami, they made the field as the 11 seed, just barely though. And the East got big names. UConn's 2 seed, got Michigan State, got Kansas, got St. John's, West, Arizona, obviously, and then the Midwest, Michigan, led by Big Ten Player of the Year, Yaxel Lindenberg. Um, and in the South, you got a potential rematch between the Gators and Houston. So a lot of interesting developments. I personally, am pulling for Duke. I do like Duke overall. I do think Cameron Boozer is the best player in the country. And I'm looking forward to diving into these matchups, seeing what's going to happen, who's going to be the key player. Santa Clara, Kentucky. I think that was a 10-7 matchup. That's one that intrigues me. Those 10-7 ones, 12-5 ones, I always look very closely at. So, man, this is the week we're kicking it off with March Madness, and I am pumped. It's going to be fire. Hoops all March. It's the best time of the year. Absolutely love it. One because Wiseman has to calm down and take a break. But we're gonna take a quick break, and I'll be right back for the second half of the episode.